this is an interesting deal. We know that Apple and Tim Cook and Jack Ma have been speaking. There's been talk of a potential Alipay partnership. But this we hear about instead. What's the significance of it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice surprise, and I think it's actually much more important today than even an Alipay deal. When you think about what China UnionPay is, it's basically, per your point, clearinghouse for about 4.5 billion cards, debit cards and credit cards. It gives Chinese consumers access to the iTunes store, much like we have access here in the States. So rather than having to go through a really cumbersome process to buy an app, to leverage an app, now it's as simple as it is for us here in New York or in San Francisco.
Brian, what's the fundamental difference between the way that people in China are paying for what they're buying, whether it's in stores or increasingly online, than the U.S.? I'm always struck by Europe versus the U.S., where credit card usage in places like giant economies like Germany is practically non-existent.
Yeah, so China was traditionally very much a savings culture, not a credit economy, and people typically paid with cash. What Alipay was able to do and what Alibaba has been able to do is really take that model and bring it to mobile devices, bring it in-store and to other places. In the last decade or so, we've also seen the rise of a credit culture in China, where now middle class and upper middle class and wealthy consumers are buying with credit cards. And that's what makes this deal so important for Apple and so important for China UnionPay, because now suddenly the Chinese consumer can seamlessly buy with their debit card or their credit card from Apple, just like they can again here in the States, rather than this three-step process that they were going through for quite some time.
What's your take on an Apple Alipay deal? Is this something that's not too far behind?
Yeah, it's a good question, Emily. I think that the truth is it's a little bit like saying, well, what's the importance of a PayPal Apple deal once you have deals with Visa, MasterCard, and American Express? It's still helpful. It will still get leverage, but using Alipay, think about Alipay almost as a middleman between your debit card, your credit card, and the purchase process, which in this case would happen with Apple. So now really they've cut out the middleman. Now it's the credit card, the bank working directly with Apple. So it really lessens the need for that partnership.